Good evening, everybody. I'm Eric Greene. Welcome to our election night coverage here on News 25 at 9. It has now been 2 hours since the polls closed in Illinois. We are starting to get some totals. Some races have already been called. We'll get to those, but right now let's get to the big board and the big race in Illinois, and that is for governor and lieutenant governor. This time around, they are running together. This is a first in the state of Illinois, and the latest numbers show Bruce Rauner at 607,000 to Pat Quinn and Paul Vallis, his running mate with the education background, 476,000. Chad Grimm, the libertarian from Peoria, he's pulling up 41,000 right now. And as you look at the map here, it is all red. And if you remember 4 years ago, Pat Quinn won the governor's office with only 2 counties in his column. Bill Brady won everything else, but he still did not have enough votes to win the governorship. So Pat Quinn right now is leading in the city of Rockford. He is leading here in Aurora. He's winning in Cook County, which is not a surprise at this moment. And he is also leading in Macon County. If you want to look at the Peoria County numbers, those are in the red column right now. In Peoria County, it's 11,838 for Rauner to 8,205 for Quinn. But remember, this is with 86% of the precincts reporting in Peoria. And for the whole state, the numbers are still coming in, and this is going to be perhaps a long evening till we figure out who wins the race for governor in the state of Illinois. Now we are going to move to the U.S. Senate race, and this one has already been called by all the media, and it's really no surprise that Dick Durbin is going to be going back for his 4th term in the U.S. Senate. He was running against Republican State Senator Jim Oberweis, a perennial candidate. First ran in 2002 for office after a successful financial career. Did not win until 2 years ago. Got into the state Senate, completing his 1st term. He is not going to Washington. Dick Durbin will be going back for a 4th term. And right now, as you look at the map, it's a lot of red, but Dick Durbin is winning enough, and right now he's ahead, 542,000 to 486,000. The Libertarian Sharon Hansen has 41,000. Attorney General has also been called by a couple of the news media, and that is Lisa Madigan, who is going to be going back into that office in Springfield. You might remember that Lisa Madigan was considering a run for governor, but because her father would not step down as House Speaker, Mike Madigan, she chose to go for a 4th term as the Attorney General in Illinois. She has been running against Paul Schimpf, who is an attorney and also a former U.S. Marine officer, and Ben Coyle, who is a lawyer, a bankruptcy lawyer in the city of Chicago. So right now, Lisa Madigan is going to be going back for a 4th term as the Attorney General in Illinois. This is the only map that is pretty much all blue, and this is the race for Secretary of State, Jesse White. He has not lost an election since 1976. He has been Secretary of State since 1999. That will be continuing. He has 687,000 votes right now to Michael Webster's 345. And Christopher Michael, he is the Libertarian, and he has got 29,311. But again, it is a Jesse White night for the Secretary of State, and he is going to be going back for yet another term in that office. State Treasurer, there's going to be a new State Treasurer this time around because Dan Rutherford, the Republican, chose to run for governor. He finished last in the Republican primary. And in this race, you have State Rep Tom Cross, who was the House leader for the Republicans. He stepped down as the GOP leader so he could run for this office. He is up against Democratic State Senator Mike Frerichs from Champaign County. He is the former auditor of Champaign County. And right now with, let's see how much of the state is reporting. We'll get a state view here. Right now it's a lot of red, but that doesn't necessarily translate into the Republican votes and the Democratic votes. In this case, it is Tom Cross is ahead, 520,000 to 454,000 for Frerichs. Matthew Skopik, who is a DuPage County government accountant, he is pulling up the rear at 40,000 votes. Now we are going to go to the 17th Congressional District. This is a big race here. It's kind of a boxing rematch, so to speak. The new champ is the incumbent Sherry Bustos. She is against the man that she defeated 2 years ago, the Republican Bobby Schilling. And right now, as you can see, Sherry Bustos is leading in her bid for a second term in the U.S. Congress. She's got 55% of the vote with 23% of the precincts reporting. Bobby Schilling has got 45% of the vote. And we have a quick look at the 13th Congressional District right now. Incumbent Republican Rodney Davis, he is from Taylorville, running for a second term against the Democrat Ann Callis. She is the former chief judge of Illinois' 3rd Judicial Circuit. She stepped down from the bench to run. She is trailing Rodney Davis, who looks like he's going to be going back for a second term, representing the 13th District, 58 to 42%, with about 22% of the votes totaled right now. And I am happy to introduce our analyst who can now do some of the speaking, former Congressman Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood. It's great to have you with us.
Oh, thank you.
It's very good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
What do you make of everything so far, especially the race for governor?
Well, the governor's race is going to be very, very close. And with the amount of money that has been spent and the attention that has been focused on the ads and the candidates working very, very hard, it's going to come down really to Cook County and the suburban area. I think the vote totals as they stack up now are going to be similar to what they were 4 years ago when Bill Brady carried 96, 97 counties in downstate Illinois, but lost in Cook in the suburban area. That's where the race will be won or lost.
In a second, I do want to ask you about the political ads that were run in that campaign, because it seemed like one candidate might have been a little more effective than the other, and I wonder if you think that was enough to sway the vote one way or the other. We'll talk about that in a moment. But right now I want to get to some state house races. This is the 76th district. The Democrat incumbent, Frank Martino, is going for his 11th term. He's up against a political novice, Republican Jerry Long. He is a transport logistics manager concerned about the state's finances. Right now, 67% of the vote in. This is pretty even, 50-50 right now. We'll see how that goes. 91st District, the incumbent Republican Mike Eunice running for a third term against Chad Schmidgall. He is a former Pekin City Councilman. Eunice declared victory moments ago, so Mike Eunice will be going back to Springfield. 106th District in the State House. This is pretty interesting. You have a current office holder, Republican Tom Bennett from Gibson City. He's the Ford County GOP chairman. He was appointed when Josh Harms dropped out after the primary. The Democrat opponent is William Nutter. He's a Watseka City Councilman and a Aurora firefighter. And right now, it is all Bennett, 80% to 20%. Ray, want to ask you very quickly, how much of a help was it that Josh Harms stepped down and he got Bennett into the office before the election?
I think the fact that Bennett was the chairman means that everybody knew him. A lot of people worked with him. And people felt that he was somebody that they could really trust with the job.
And the party got behind him.
The party got behind him.
That helps.
Yeah, it
that
really
helps
does.
a lot.
Yeah.
All right. 5 questions on the ballot this time. As you know, some binding, some are advisory referenda. First, this is the Victims' Rights Amendment. It expands rights of crime victims, also gives them the ability to enforce those rights in court. For instance, notification of a hearing before the victim's information is released to the public. This is passing right now 78% to 22%. This is the voting rights. It's actually called the Suffrage and Elections Amendment, and it adds on to the Illinois Constitution that no person be denied the opportunity to register or cast a ballot based on race, color, ethnicity, religion, language, gender, sexual orientation, or income. This is almost like the 19th U.S. Amendment.
Well, this is an amendment that is passing overwhelmingly for good reason.
All right, 69 to 31%. Now we have an advisory referendum, Illinois' minimum wage. It calls for the wage to go from $8.25 to $10 an hour. This was introduced by House Speaker Mike Madigan. It's passing right now by a 2-to-1 margin.
Well, look, there are a lot of people that are stuck in positions where the pay isn't quite what it should be. The minimum wage has not been raised for some time, and this is a good way to judge the public's feeling about this.
All right, one more non-binding referendum tonight was the health insurance referendum. This would require any health insurance plan that has prescription drug coverage to include prescription birth control. This also winning by a 2-to-1 margin. And then there's the Millionaires Tax Advisory Referendum. Calls for a 3% tax on income greater than $1 million. That money would generate an estimated $1 billion that would go toward public school classroom education. And this too, rich people, sorry, it's passing by 62 to 38%. We will have more results as they come in right here and on our website, cinewsnow.com. More election results and analysis from Ray LaHood, and Chuck Collins will have the 7-day forecast when we continue with News 25 at 9 here on My 59. News 25 at 9 on My 59. Election coverage continues. The race for governor in Illinois, more than a third of the precincts reporting. And right now it is Rauner with 55% to Quinn, 41%. Chad Grimm, the Peoria Libertarian, 4%. There's a long way to go with this. 63% of the vote still needs to be counted. And keep your eyes on this. It's going to be a long night, we have a feeling. 18th Congressional District right now, incumbent Republican Aaron Schock looking for a 4th term in the U.S. House. He's up against Democrat Darren Miller, who calls himself a Mennonite farmer. Aaron Schock, he'll be going back for a 4th term in the U.S. House. He is leading by a 3-to-1 margin, 75 to 25%. Aaron Schock is the leader. Denise Jackson is with the Schock campaign tonight at East Peoria. Denise, he just spoke recently.
The Associated Press just about an hour ago has declared Aaron Schock the official winner in the 18th District congressional seat. 75% of the votes for Schock over his challenger Darrell Miller with just 25%. And joining me now is Congressman Aaron Schock. Congratulations, Congressman Schock. A lot at stake tonight. What's going to happen with those other seats with regards to the House?
Well, I think we're going to pick up more seats. Right now we're up 5 more seats, so we're at about a 20-seat majority in the Congress. My hope is we pick up control of the Senate. We have 5-seat majority, or 5 more seats that we picked up. We need 1 more seat to get to a Republican majority. There's a lot of work that we got to do out in Washington, D.C. Neither side is going to get everything that they want, but we've got to be willing to negotiate. And the Senate right now has only voted 21 times in the last 2 years. The House has passed 387 bills. So Civics 101 tells you a bill's got to pass the House and the Senate to make it to the president's desk.
Okay, Congressman Aaron Schock, thank you very much. Well, that's going to do it for now. We'll have the latest on these other races later on tonight. I'm Denise Jackson reporting live at the Embassy Suites in East Peoria. Now back to you.
All right, Denise. Ray LaHood. We've got 3 Republican congressmen in this area who are all young and all seem very talented, and the party seems to like them a lot. Aaron Schock, Rodney Davis, Adam Kinzinger. Let's talk about Aaron Schock. I don't see him wanting to stay in the House forever. He seems a little more ambitious.
Yeah,
than that.
He's on a very important committee now. He's on the Ways and Means Committee, and if there is tax reform, which many believe there will be now, particularly if the House and Senate is Republican, Aaron will be well positioned to be very helpful to small business and to companies like Caterpillar being on that committee. So I think he's going to work very hard for the next 2 years, and then we'll see what happens. All of these 3 members of Congress, all of these 3 men are very young, they're very ambitious, but they are going back to very good jobs. Being a member of Congress is a very good job, and you can get a lot done. And all 3 of these gentlemen are on very good committees. Adam is known as a kind of a military expert. Rodney is certainly somebody who's an up-and-comer on the Transportation Committee, and Aaron is well-positioned on the Ways and Means Committee. We are going to be well-positioned in Illinois to really tackle some big problems and make a difference with these 3 young up-and-comers.
All right. The Democrats, we are first going to the Peoria County Board, and this is District 6. And Alan Mayer is the incumbent, and he has the check mark next to him, so he is the winner with 100% of the vote in. Zachary Euler, a Caterpillar manager, he is the loser in that race tonight. Now, the Democrats already know Dick Durbin's going back for a 4th term in the U.S. Senate. Other races, we don't know yet about Pat Quinn. Audrey Wise is live with the Democrats tonight in Peoria. Audrey.
Eric, I'm here at the Teamsters Hall in Peoria, where the Peoria County Democratic Election Party is taking place. Right now, there's about 100 people here in the room, and also I'd say there's really not a lot of excitement. I've heard a few claps, a few cheers, but really people are glued to the TVs and really watching those numbers as they come in. Not a lot of candidates here as well. The Peoria County Board District 16 candidate Richard Burns is here with his family. Also, the District 6 incumbent Alan Mayer is here. He's really been glued to his iPad, really watching those numbers come in on that. We're expecting it to get a little more lively here throughout the night as some more results come in and more races are called. We'll definitely keep you updated as that happens here at the Democratic Election Party. Reporting live in Peoria, I'm Audrey Weiss. Eric, back to you.
Thanks a lot. More results as they come in, and you can find them on our website as well, cinewsnow.com. If you've got our mobile app, all you have to do is punch that in, and we'll get it for you there as well. Chuck Collins with the check of the weather when News 25 at 9 continues.
And welcome back, everybody. A live look, Illinois Eye Center cam at the Great Escape. Peoria's northwest side. Cloudy skies out there helping the temperatures. Avanti's cam, Unity Point Health Methodist, downtown Peoria. Weather headlines shape up like this. We will have some sun tomorrow, and we're back to the 60s. It's a one-day special, though. Windy and cold. Temperatures falling into the 40s on Thursday and the rest of the week. And maybe some showers Thursday and Saturday coming our way. Overnight lows tonight, upper 30s, low 40s where we belong. Highs tomorrow running 60 to 63. Not bad at all out there. 61 as the high. The problem, that was at midnight. 45 the low. That's the current temperature here in River City. And the currents, 45 in Peoria. West southwesterly winds at 6, 73% relative humidity. 43 in the Twin Cities. West southwesterly winds at 13, 82% relative humidity. Area temperatures, 45 downtown Pekin, 43 in uptown Normal. And temperatures running 41 to about 45. Radar and satellite, we have the doggone clouds in place, and they'll be continuing to ease up and move on to the east later on tonight. As they do so, we'll have some clearing skies, sunshine tomorrow. And as far as that goes, here's the rest of the AccuWeather 7-day outlook. Up and down temperatures, back to the 40s coming our way. Eric?
All right, Chuck, we're going to have more election coverage for you on cinewsnow.com, also on our mobile app. And following this break, we will have the latest numbers for you with Tom McIntyre in full hour of News 25 Nightside at 10.